Hello, and welcome back to Taya's Crafting Hints. This is probably the last video that I'm going to be making in this series because I'm pretty much completed everything there is to be completed. I've been working on the bottom shelf now for the last 2 or 3 days, adding the finishing touches and so on, and I will give you a closer look at this right now. What we're going to be doing today is adding strings of lights to the skating area, because there's no lighted houses in that area, and at night that gets very dark. Even with the village lights on and all the lanterns shining, that little area there gets very dark. So I'm going to add a string of lights to that area just to light it up a bit and to make it more festive looking. Let me give you a view of the bottom shelf as far as it's done. It's not completely finished yet. There's still many more trees that have to go on to the diorama, but I've winterized the fence a little bit, put some snow on the top of the pickets. The animals are in the yard, and I'm quite happy with the way the farm looks. The stream is looking good. I added a little bit of a wash of white paint, really thin white paint onto it to make it look a little more icy. The trees are pretty much finished here. There's the mill. And here are the railway crossing lights. Now the train is off the track at the moment because I'm having some problems with it, so I have to sort that out. There's a little bridge over the stream. There's a few people skating on the skating rink. I still have to add trees. I'm not completely happy with the lighting on the windmill. It's a little too bold for me. It's a little too sharp. But I will sort something out. I'll think about that. And then in the front, I've added a walkway and some more lanterns. And there will be people doing various activities on the walkway. I've also added a little bit of winter snow on top of the lanterns. All the lanterns came quite black and there wasn't a touch of snow on them, so I added a little bit of a dab of paint on the top of each one. And I'm quite happy with how that looks. Not quite finished. Oh, and I put a little doggy in the yard. Do you see him? He's on guard. And some baby chicks and a few horses. And that's it for the lower level. So to get started with the strings of lights around the skating area, I started with purchasing a package of shish kebab skewers at the liquidator store. You can buy them in the grocery store or any variety store. You could be able to buy these anywhere. And they're skewers that are flat on one end and pointed on the other. And they're going to stand in the styrofoam like so and have lights strung from skewer to skewer. But before I do that, I want to paint them white. And I think I'll start with 6 and get them painted white. And there we go. To string between the skewers, or the poles, is this light. It's very fine wire, and they're quite long. I purchased a number of them a number of years ago. They're run by a battery pack. They give you the list of all the different functions. And they're run by batteries. The nice thing about these lights is that you can choose the function that you want, or you can choose a combination, or you can choose the steady glow. But it comes with a built-in timer, so that if you decide that at 5 o'clock you're going to turn them on, They will stay on for 6 hours. So they stay on until 11 o'clock. The batteries usually last for a season. Sometimes if you have it on excessively long, if your season, for instance, runs really, really long, then you might have to fish the battery pack out and replace the batteries, but I've only done that maybe once or twice. So as you can see, they've got all different functions. I've tried a few different ways of doing this, and I wasn't really happy with it earlier. I found that the poles were much too long, so I've shortened the poles probably to about 2/3 of the size that they were. And I'm going to try it again. I'm going to keep winding the lights around the poles and see if it works a little better for me. I think part of my problem is that I've got this mindset that it's a Victorian era village, and I'm not sure that stringed lights were available in the Victorian era village, but I have to try and come to grips with all of this. So I just know that it's way too dark in here at night in the skating rink area, so I want to make it a little bit lighter, and I think this is the solution. If my poles would just stand straight. So instead of using glue, I'm just winding the wire around the pole. I may have to adjust the poles a little bit. And of course it's daylight now, so I can't really tell whether this is the effect that I need at night. But we'll keep working on it. Usually I can find a solution if I mess around with things long enough. I like not having to use glue. Oh, I've come to the end of my string. Lovely. All right, there we have it. Yes, I'm quite happy with how that turned out. I think that will fit the bill perfectly. I hope you've enjoyed these videos on how to build your Christmas village, and I hope you can use all the instructions in your own adventures. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell to let you know when the next series of videos is coming up. There is one more video coming up while I take a musical tour of the village as it stands when it's completed, which it isn't at the moment. There's still a few things that I need to do. But don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Until the next time, bye now.